In this lesson, we will practice differentiating between theories, laws, and principles. So, it may not be obvious how to distinguish between a theory, a law, or a principle, so let's provide some basic guidelines that might be useful in doing so. As a review, we have the following. A theory develops from a model and helps scientists to try and explain an event. A law is a statement that has been tested in many different ways and under many different circumstances and found to hold true under all of them. A principle is a statement that only holds true under certain conditions. So let's look at some practice problems in which we try to, which I'll ask you to try and distinguish between the three. So first, let's look at the first problem here. Suppose you have a piston filled with water and you try to compress it. However, when all the air is released from the piston, it doesn't compress anymore, no matter what you do. So you and many of your friends then run many tests to check if this always holds true no matter what. But it only seems to work when you use water. You and your friends then say that water cannot be compressed. Is this a theory, a law, or a principle? Take some time and think it over. You can stop the video at this point if you like. This would be considered a principle because it only applies to water. Therefore, it isn't general enough to be considered a law. Let's look at the next example. Suppose you find that anything you throw up into the air floats away. You then think to yourself, anything I throw in the air will float away. Is this a theory, a law, or a principle? Take some time and think it over. You can stop the video at this point if you like. The answer is that this would be a theory. You have not tested this enough yet for it to be called a law or a principle. It was just based on some observations that you made. However, they might be good observations, but only you have done them, and that's not enough. The last problem here. So suppose you discover that if you push something, you are pushed back. You and your friends then decide to do some experiments to measure how much force gets applied to an object when it pushes on another object. After many experiments, you all find that the forces that an object feels is always equal to the force it applies. Now you and your friends tried to test this result on all sorts of objects, and no matter what object you use, you get the same result. All of you then say that if an object applies a force, it will feel a force equally as strong being applied to it. Is this a theory, a law, or a principle? Take some time to think it over. You can stop the video at this point if you like. This would be considered a law because it held true in any experiment it has been tested in. However, keep in mind that it is impossible to test something under every single condition, so this law can be broken if only one experiment proves it false. I hope this lesson has helped you understand a little bit and distinguish between a theory, a law, and a principle.